Everyone tells you to stand in front of your birdcage and repeat the same word for hours until your throat is sore and your bird looks at you with utter confusion. They are lying to you and they are wasting your time. While you are fast asleep at 3 in the morning, your bird's brain is doing something incredible, a biological process that most owners completely ignore. I am Ruan, and here at Planet Birds, we do not just show you what works. We explain the biological why behind it. Today, I'm showing you how I taught my Cockatiel 15 complete songs without ever saying a single word to him, using a phenomenon known as nocturnal neuromapping. If you have been struggling to get your Parrot, Perigitos, or Cockatiel to whistle a simple tune or say its name, the problem isn't the bird. The problem is your timing and your understanding of avian neurobiology. Most people treat bird training like a classroom, but a bird's brain functions more like a high-speed organic recorder that only saves data under specific atmospheric and physiological conditions. We are going to dive deep into the science of why the 3 a.m. trick works and how you can implement it tonight. But here is where it gets weird. Most people think birds learn by listening. In reality, birds learn by vibrating. And if you understand the frequency of those vibrations, you can unlock a level of mimicry you never thought possible. If you want a bird that actually communicates and sings with clarity instead of just producing random noise, hit that like button right now so the algorithm knows you are a dedicated owner looking for real science, not just myths. To understand the 3 a.m. trick, we have to look at the syrinx. Humans have a larynx, but birds possess a complex, two-branch vocal organ located deep at the base of their trachea. This syrinx is surrounded by air sacs and controlled by incredibly fast-acting muscles. While you are sleeping, your bird is entered into a state of REM sleep, where their brain begins to replay the sounds they heard during the day. This is called neural rehearsal. However, there is a massive market gap in bird training information. Everyone talks about daytime training, but no one talks about the pre-dawn priming window. Science shows us that in the wild, the dawn chorus is the most competitive time for birds to communicate. Their brains are biologically hardwired to be at their peak receptivity for sound patterns just before the sun rises. This is the 3 a.m. trick. It is not about waking your bird up. It is about feeding the subconscious mind when the environmental noise floor is at its absolute lowest. When you play specific, low decibel melodic loops at 3 in the morning, you aren't teaching the bird. You are literally programming the syrinx muscles to fire in their sleep. This is why I didn't have to say a word. I used bioacoustic priming to let my bird's biology do the heavy lifting for me. And here is the secret: no one tells you about the 3 a.m. trick. It only works if you use the correct frequency. Most bird owners play high-pitched, piercing whistles that actually trigger a fear response or a night fright. At Planet Birds, we base everything on science and bird biology. A cockatiel's ear is most sensitive to frequencies between 1 and 4 kHz. If your training audio falls outside of this range during the nocturnal cycle, the brain rejects it as background noise. But when you hit that sweet spot, the HVC, or high vocal center of the bird's brain, begins to create new neural pathways. It's like installing software on a computer while the monitor is turned off. By the time the bird wakes up, the song is already mapped into their motor memory. Now, you might be wondering, if this is so effective, why isn't everyone doing it? It's because most people lack the patience to understand the nutritional requirements for this kind of brain activity. Before we get into the 15-song blueprint and the exact audio setup I used, I need you to understand that none of this works if your bird's brain is starving. High-level mimicry requires massive amounts of choline and omega-3 fatty acids. If you are feeding your bird a basic seed diet, their brain literally does not have the raw materials to build the new synapses required for 15 songs. Subscribe to Planet Birds right now if you want to move beyond basic pet ownership and become a true avian specialist. By subscribing, you are joining a community that values the health and cognitive potential of our feathered companions through the lens of biology and evidence-based techniques. Now, let's break down the 15-song blueprint. You cannot just throw random music at a bird and expect results. You have to follow the ladder of complexity. We start with 3-note intervals. In the wild, parakeets and cockatiels use short, repetitive calls to signal safety. We exploit this biological trigger by starting with songs that mimic these safety signals. Think of the first 5 songs as the foundation. These are short, high-contrast melodies. Once the bird's brain masters the 3-note interval, we move to the secondary stage, melodic chaining. This is where the magic happens. By the time we reach song number 10, the bird isn't just mimicking, they are understanding the structure of music. This is why my cockatiel can switch between the Indiana Jones theme and Mozart without missing a beat. He isn't just a recorder, he has become a musician. This is the difference between a bird that talks and a bird that communicates. But there is a trap you must avoid. If you play the audio for too long, you cause auditory habituation. This is when the brain gets bored and starts to filter out the sound entirely. The secret to the 3 AM trick is the pause method. You play the melody for 10 minutes, then silence for 20. This creates a state of anticipation in the avian brain. It keeps the neurons firing and searching for the next sequence. Here is something truly unique that you won't find on any other channel. The role of dopamine in vocal learning is often misunderstood. Most trainers use treats, but science tells us that for birds, the ultimate reward isn't food, it's social inclusion. When your bird masters a note from the 3 AM sessions, and you respond by echoing that note back to them during the day, you trigger a massive dopamine spike in their brain. This reinforces the neural mapping that happened while they were asleep. It creates a feedback loop. The bird thinks, I heard this in my sleep, I tried it today, and my human leader responded. This confirms to the bird that this specific sound is the key to their social survival within your flock. This is why I didn't have to speak a single word to teach those 15 songs. I let the nocturnal audio do the teaching, and I used my presence to provide the social validation. We are hacking the bird's natural instinct to fit in. But wait, here's where it gets even more interesting. There is a specific biological phenomenon called the plastic song phase. This is the period where your bird will mumble or whisper the songs under their breath. Most owners get frustrated here and think the training isn't working. They stop the 3 AM sessions right when they are on the verge of a breakthrough. In biology, this is the crystallization phase. The bird is literally fine-tuning the tension in their syrinx muscles. If you interrupt them now, you break the cycle. You must continue the nocturnal priming until the song becomes crystal clear. This process can take anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months, depending on the species. But the 3 AM trick accelerates it by nearly 400% compared to traditional methods. Why? Because you are bypassing the bird's conscious distractions. During the day, your bird is worried about toys, food, the dog, and the reflection in the mirror. At 3 AM, there are no distractions. There is only the sound and the brain. Let's talk about the specific equipment and volume. You do not need expensive speakers. You need a device that can play high-fidelity audio at a very low volume. We are talking about 30 to 40 decibels, which is the equivalent of a quiet whisper. If it is any louder, you will disrupt the bird's non-REM sleep cycles, which are crucial for their immune system and physical health. We want to target the light sleep phases. By using a simple digital loop or even an old smartphone, you can set a timer. The most effective window is between 3 AM and 5 AM. This is the pre-dawn period where the bird's cortisol levels begin to naturally rise, preparing them for the day. This hormonal shift makes them hyper-receptive to new information. If you are training a periquito, keep the melodies fast and staccato. If you are training a parrot or a cockatiel, you can use more elongated flute-like notes. The biology of each species dictates how they process sound. Periquitos have a higher vocal rate, meaning they can process more notes per second than a larger parrot. If you try to teach a periquito a slow, dragging song, they will lose interest. They need speed. Science tells us their heart rate and metabolism are linked to their acoustic processing. I want to address a common mistake that ruins the 3 AM trick. Most people use songs with lyrics. This is a disaster. To a bird, human speech is a messy, chaotic frequency. If you want them to sing 15 songs, you must use pure tones, like a whistle or a piano. Once the bird has mastered the melodic structure of the song, then and only then can you introduce the words. By building the melody first, you have created a skeletal structure in their brain. The words then simply become the skin that covers that structure. This is the most efficient way to create a talking bird that actually sounds clear and articulate. Remember, everything we do at Planet Birds is rooted in the biology of the bird. We aren't just teaching tricks, we are enhancing the natural capabilities of these incredible dinosaurs. When you see your bird start to bob their head to the rhythm of the 3 a.m. song the next morning, you will know the neuromapping has been successful. In conclusion, teaching your bird to talk and sing isn't about the volume of your voice or the number of hours you spend standing by the cage. It is about understanding the nocturnal rehearsal cycles, the anatomy of the syrinx, and the chemical triggers of the avian brain. The 3 a.m. trick works because it respects the bird's biology instead of fighting against it. I taught my Cockatiel 15 songs without saying a word because I became a facilitator of his natural learning process. You can do the same. Start tonight. Set your volume low, choose a simple 3-note melody, and let the science of the 3 a.m. window do the work for you. If you found this deep dive into avian neurobiology helpful, make sure to check out our other video on the specific nutritional protocols that can double your bird's IQ. I am Ruan from Planet Birds, and we will see you in the next flight. This was the breakdown of the 3 a.m. trick. And now it is time for you to go out there and unlock the hidden potential of your feathered friends. Remember, it is not just about what works, it is about why it works. See you in the next video.